start with the Gita. Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunj Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunj Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharidhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Giridharidhari Yashodananda Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuda Tira Madachari Yamuda Tira Madachari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunj Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Giridharidhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuda Tira Madachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, start with the prayers. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshakarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Karoti Vacharam, Pamukha Jayate, Bhagavad Muhammad, Shri Guru Ditaram, Brahmananda Madhavan, Shri Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, everyone. Nice to see everyone with tilak. We'll talk about the significance of tilak and all today. So today's topic, like I mentioned, last time was the level 2 first session, and today is the level 2 second session, right? So we all been promoted to level 2, right? And it's very nice that you all have taken it seriously, because I see familiar faces every week, and that brings a lot of joy, because we see that you have taken it seriously and you want to follow this path. So again, we are going to dig deep into the divine teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Again, like always, we dedicate this presentation to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada, because of whom we are here and we are listening to Bhagavad Gita and understanding the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Right? So today, if you see, in all around the temples, earlier what used to happen is, you used to find people beyond a certain age only visiting temples. People beyond 50 years or whatever. They are the only ones who are visiting the temples. They say, Bhakti, Budhape ke liye. Right? But right now, if you see, there is a huge change. At least in ISKCON temples, if you have visited, you go to Mayapur, Vrindavan, or even the temples that are there here in Bangalore, there are youths also. Right? So if you see, there is a lot of change. So people started understanding the importance of temple, the importance of scriptures, and the importance of certain rituals. Right? And that's the only reason people are visiting temples. So today's topic is science behind rituals or rituals versus spiritual. Right? So let's start off today. So definition of bhakti. Right? What is the definition of bhakti? Does anyone know definition of bhakti? What do you think is the definition of bhakti? What is it, man? Navavirtam, that's the limbs of bhakti. But what exactly is bhakti? That is the process of bhakti. Seva, okay. Anything else? Dedication, surrender, okay. These are all the qualities. So let's actually look into Bhagavad Gita itself, right? Please repeat after me. Bhuktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhurdam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantim pritchati. So here Krishna says he is sarvaloka maheshwara. So here Krishna says, I am the proprietor of everything, of all the spiritual worlds, of all the material world, everything that is existing. So Krishna is proclaiming himself as Sarvaloka Maheshwara. Now if I ask you something, who does everything belong to? What is the answer? Who does everything? Krishna. Sure? Again I'm asking, who does everything belong to? This laptop belongs to Krishna? Yes. TV belongs to Krishna. Right? Month end, you get a very nice message. So and so amount credited. Does that belong to Krishna?
Actually, it belongs to us.
It belongs to you. Okay. Okay. Alright. So everything in this world actually ultimately comes from the Lord. Right? Anything that I talk about. And if you're looking at laptop, it's a mixture of certain elements. If you read chapter 7, verse number 4, Krishna says, Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kam Mano Buddhi Evacha, right? Ahankara Iti Amme. So these are 8 material energies of the Lord. Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu. So anything that you see that we have made with the combination comes ultimately from Krishna. So what is the right way to actually show gratitude to Krishna? Is by offering it to Krishna. Right? The simple procedure that we talk about. Simple procedure. So for example, I have a mobile phone. Right? I have a mobile phone. And right after the class I leave my mobile phone here. Okay? And one of you, just give an example. One of you actually take my mobile phone and say Hare Krishna Prabhuji and walk away. What will that person be called? Thief. In Hindi, what do you call it? Chor. So this is what we are actually doing. In any activity that we are doing, if we are not offering it to Lord, we are actually chor, thieves. Even if you actually stay in a fully furnished rented apartment, for example, and you use all the facilities and don't pay rent, how is it? So it's not that Krishna wants anything from us. It's for our benefit. Yeah? It's to bring about the mood of gratitude, which we have lost. We take things for granted. Right? So that's one of the reasons. So when everything belongs to the Lord, what should we do? We should offer it to the Lord and take the reverence. It's not that the Lord is going to take it. The Lord is Atmaram, He has got everything that is required. Right? So He doesn't need anything. So He is doing this for our benefit. So we have to understand that. It's not that the Lord wants our money, Lord wants the food prepared by us. The Lord has everything. Lord has everything in the spiritual world or anywhere. Right? So we have to understand that. So what if I ask you something? What about this body? Whom does this body belong to? Whom does it belong to? Krishna? Sure? Sure. So like I said, the same shloka. Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu, right? Come. Buddhi Evacha. So these are Panchabhutas. Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu, right? So Panchabhutas. Our body is made up of Panchabhutas. So ultimately this body also should be given as an offering to the Lord. Anything that we do through this body should be an offering to the Lord. Right? Now, so this is what the example, this is what bhakti is actually. So if everything belongs to Lord, everything should be used in God's service. And that is bhakti. So that is constant reciprocation. Right? That is what it is. So if someone says, "मैं bhakti में believe नहीं करता," I don't know. So do you think it's optional or it's mandatory? Because nothing belongs to you. Everything belongs to Lord. And if you're using it and not paying gratitude or respect, what is it called? It's theft. So technically, it's not optional. It is mandatory. Because you're using someone's property. And you have to offer it. Right? So that is bhakti. So let's look into a little more deeper concepts. Religion versus spirituality. So what is religion? You will have all heard or read somewhere. What is religion? Someone said something? Faith. Mataji said faith. Anything else? Code of conduct. Guruji said code of conduct. Anything else? What is religion? So when you say faith, belief, code of conduct, which is all nice. So a lot of, actually if you look into the dictionary, it says faith, certain faith. Right? But if you see religion, today I am a Hindu. Tomorrow someone can convert me to Christianity. So my faith is actually changing. Right? Today I am Hindu, someone can actually convert me to following Islam also. So faith is changing. Right? So what it says, when the scripture says, religion is something that is innate, that doesn't change at all. So what is that something that is innate? Like for example, sugar's dharma is to be sweet. A chili's dharma is to be spicy. So what will happen if sugar is actually starts showing up to be spicy? What really happens here? So sugar is not acting upon its dharma. So religion is actually not faith. So religion actually means, the deeper understanding of religion is actually an innate quality that is there. It is God. Does anyone know what that is? What did you say, Madhuri? Okay. So it is actually serving. Right? Religion or dharma means serving. If you see, take our life for example, in a day-to-day life or your whole existence, we are actually serving everyone. In our house, we are serving our husband, wife, our kids. Right? Whatever wants they have, we are serving. In our office, we are serving our boss. We are serving our customers. Right? We are serving different people. And if we don't have anyone to serve, some of us actually keep a pet and start serving the dog. Food, we take it out for a walk. Right? So serving is something that is innate. That is already there. So if serving is already there and we have been doing this for long, why is there no satisfaction? I am serving someone. I am serving my friend, for example. And later on, I have done so much for him, and later on he says, "Tune kya kiya mere liye?" So we get this, right? So why is that people serve, right? We are constantly serving, and still there is no satisfaction. Exactly. Right? We are not serving the right person. The object of service is not right. Right? So service attitude is always there. It's not that I'm telling you not go home and start pick a fight with your husband or wife. No, that's not the way. Right? It's a balance. Husband and wife, your family has been given to you by the Lord to take care of them for this particular lifetime. But you are not supposed to forget your innate quality of serving the Lord. Right? Scriptures say, what does Scripture say about our constitutional position? What is our position? Jivera Swarupa, Krishnera Nityadas. So we are eternal servants of the Lord. And that same serving attitude, when we come into the material world, it is actually contaminated. And we forget about Krishna and we start serving everyone around us. That attitude is still there. Serving is still there. But, like Mataji said, the object of service is wrong. Right? So when you serve Krishna, in Bhagavatam it says, there is a wonderful analogy they say, it's like pouring water into the roots and the entire branch, the twigs, the flowers, the fruits, all start blooming. They're all happy. Similarly, watering the roots is like serving the Lord. Makes everyone around us happy. So that is what the analogy in Bhagavatam says. And people have various conceptions about religion, right? Which is not right. It's because we have not read scriptures, and that's one of the reasons that we don't have a right answer to it. Right? So when we read scriptures scrutinizingly, that's when we actually get answers to these questions. I never knew the difference. I used to actually say it is faith. But faith can be changed, right? Why is it called Sanatan Dharma? Sanatan means eternal. Eternal Dharma. So this Dharma is there eternally. This is something that will never change. It is always there. Since we have come into this material world, it has just been contaminated. That's all. We are serving everyone else except the Lord. That's the only way. Right? So let's look at the next one. Dharma or religion. See, the general meaning offered is religion, which is dharma. Srila Prabhupada translates as occupational duty that cannot be separated from us. This is innate, right? Which is cannot be separated. Now, for example, now we have to serve the Lord. Do we serve according to our likings? No, we don't think. For example, I decide that I want to visit one of your houses. So maybe one of you actually invite me to your house for lunch. And then you think maybe Sabrish likes Karela. And you start preparing Karela ka sabji, Karela ka juice, Karela ka barfi or whatever. Everything is Karela. Right? And you prepare it. And I come to your house. And you say, Prabhuji, see this wonderful things I have prepared for you. Karela, have it. And I look at Karela and I get a little shocked. And Prabhuji, your favorite, hai na? Why are you not eating? Then I tell, I don't like Karela. Right? So here what happened is, you served me according to your conceptions in your mind. That is not the way it is. So if you have to serve the Lord, it should be based on what is mentioned in Shastra. Lord has told how you should be serving Him. It's not based on our mental concoction that we start serving Lord. Dharma tu shakshat bhagavad pranitam. Right? The way you're supposed to serve the Lord is mentioned by the Lord. It is not something I cooked up. That is not the way you are pleasing the Lord. The Lord knows what He wants. The Lord knows how you should be actually offering that to Him or taking care of Him. Right? So there is something. This is 1 second. Yeah. So, like I mentioned, to serve someone, it should be to serve the Lord. The mention of that is actually mentioned in the scriptures. Right? We'll dig deep into that. Spirituality or adhyatmika. Right? So, a lot of people say spirituality. What is spirituality? Does anyone know what is spirituality? Sorry? Self-realization. Anything else? Believing that we are spirit soul. Very nice answer. So spirituality is anything that is concerned with our spirit soul and the supreme soul, Paramatma. Right? When you go to, we have spoken about this, various organizations, spiritual organization, what do they promise? Or what do we look for? We have spoken about this. Peace. Peace of what? Peace of mind. Right? And peace of mind is not spiritual. We actually decoded that. When Krishna says, Bhumi Rapu Nalo Vayu Kam Mano Buddhi Evacha Ahankara Itiyam Me Bhinna Prakriti Ashtada. So these 8 material energies are coming from me. 5 are material energies, 3 are subtle material energies. That is Buddhi, Mana and Ahankara. So when Mana is material, peace of mind, how can it be spiritual? Peace of mind is material. Right? So any spiritual organization is for all your benefit. Spiritual organization is something that talks for you being spirit soul and you connecting yourself to the Supreme Spirit. Right? That is spirituality. The spirit behind ritual is spiritual. Right? So that is very important to understand. So now we know what to expect. So when we come to ISKCON, like I mentioned already, we never speak about peace of mind. Peace of mind is a byproduct which will come as you serve the Lord. Our ultimate goal is higher. Right? Peace of mind is something that comes lower. And that is something that you all will experience as you practice your bhakti, your devotional service on a daily basis. Right? So we don't focus or we don't talk about peace of mind. So that's called as a byproduct. Right? Let's look into the next one. Knowing about spirit soul actions pertaining to spirit soul is called spiritual. So this is the definition of spirituality. Okay. Now there are various kinds of people actually. If you look into this, there are some people who swing towards knowledge, that is jnana yoga, right? And they ignore all the rituals, saying that it's very sentimental, right? And there are some people who actually swing towards rituals, this is Kamakanda, ignoring knowledge of philosophy, saying that it's all dry speculation. So these are two different kinds of people, right? One only wants jnana, and they are not very interested in doing all the rituals that is associated with that. Similarly, there are people who are only into ritualistic activities but do not know the science behind why these rituals are happening. So when it comes to bhakti, it doesn't swing one way. It's not either jnana yoga, it's not either karma yoga. It is a balance. It is a balance of both. Knowledge is important and the rituals are important because the rituals are the medium which will actually take us towards the Lord. And rituals, you get the meaning or deeper understanding of rituals when you have knowledge. So all are interconnected. When it comes to bhakti, it is a balance between jnana yoga and karma yoga. That is bhakti yoga. Okay? So let's look into our current activities. So let's look into this. A lot of people actually in spirituality, when Srila Prabhupada actually went to US, right? A lot of people actually think spirituality is, they were high on drugs, totally intoxicated, and they hallucinate for some time, and then they think that is spirituality. A lot of people think that way also, right? Our current activities, let's look into this. Rituals as business. So we take Lord as ATM machine, don't we? Right? There are people who offer, if you see, Ganpati festival is quite famous, right? Ganesha festival. So, having brought up in Mumbai, so we know how important it is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. It's very, celebrated in a very opulent way, right? So there are people who actually have certain mobs. So Ganesha, I will give you 21 modaks. They have a huge list as to what needs to be done. Right? This is the transaction between Ganesha and us. Right? So I'm like thinking that Mata Parvati does not know how to cook modaks and give it to us, that we have to do it this way. See, the thing is, even when we are, see, the dealing is not right, is what I'm saying, right? So when we are looking at the Lord and asking 1 lakh rupees, the next salary should be 1 lakh rupees. If you give me that, 2 coconuts, I'm giving you. So where is the balance? 2 coconuts, and see the transaction. 2 coconuts which will come up to 60-70 rupees, and you are looking at 1 lakh, right? So this is the kind of business that we do with the Lord. Doesn't make any sense. So all of this we are actually doing for own sense gratification. So if you want 1 lakh, ideally we should tell 50,000 I'll pay you now. Then you make it. Right? Do we do that? No. So it's totally always we give a lot of preference, or we are too much into sense gratification. Even after we burst we break the coconuts, right? And all that's how we do that. What do we do with the coconut? We take it home only. Right? So it's very important to understand rituals is not business. Ritual is not business. There are certain activities that we do for the pleasure of the Lord. Ultimately, what is written in our karma will come to us. Will not go anywhere. So when it comes to bhakti, it is loving reciprocation with the Lord. It is not a business transaction. I give you this, I'll give you 3 incense sticks, you give me this. It's all ridiculous things that we ask the Lord also. Right? And if you see Ganesha, I don't know if I have the video once again, yes, I have the video. And also, There are a lot of things that we do which is not mentioned in any of the Shastras. It's just mental concoction and then we start doing. Right? Let me just get into concocted rituals for our own sense gratification. So when you look at some of the temples actually have a Bali Pratha. Right? And what happens is Bali Pratha, initially it was very different. Right? During Vedic times, if you offer an animal in front of the Lord, the Brahmanas had the power to actually revive the Lord, revive the animal, or give the animal a human form. Right? The Brahmanas were very powerful. So as the yugas degraded, what happened is they started performing Bali for their own sense gratification. They cut the animal. Now what they do with the animal? Bring it home and cook tandoori. So this is what has happened. So whatever was followed in Vedic times, naturally after a certain point of time, because of our degraded mentality and as the yuga progressed, right, we started doing things for our own sense gratification. We actually forgot the real meaning as to why we are doing it. Right? I'll show you a little video. It's a very nice video. I always burst into laughter and you would have seen this kind of dances. It's actually in a procession. And actually, the music is very nice. So the point that I am trying to make, so Ganpati is telling, please don't torture me like this. You would have seen this in front of many processions, right? In Ganesha, the people are intoxicated, drunk. And they do all this variety of dances, they put masala songs. So initially they start off with some bhakti songs. As the day progresses, as certain things go into their body, the music taste changes, the movement of the dance also changes. Right? It becomes a little vulgar and you are doing it all in front of the Lord. So what is Lord supposed to do? Is Lord is saying, please don't torture me like this. Right? So this is one of the reasons that people from other faith also actually laugh at us or criticize when they see all this. Where is there any bhakti in this? The element of bhakti is actually missing. It's again self gratification. We are actually drunk and we are dancing for our own pleasure. It is not for the pleasure of the Lord. Right? This entirely sense gratification. So anything that we do, we actually have our own hidden agenda. Right? What will I get? What is in it for me? And that's one of the reasons everything has been concocted. Right? Now, there are certain people who say, bhakti should be in the heart, don't show off. I'm sure people you would have all met such people, right? Bhakti should be in your heart, don't show it off. See, one thing you have to understand, bhakti actually means serving. Bhakti's another meaning is love. When you talk about love means you have to serve. If you love someone, you have to serve. For example, I give you an example. The mother and a newborn child, they are sleeping late night, and the child wakes up, she's crying. And mother wakes up, Beta, I love you. And she turns and sleeps. Again, the child is continuously crying, and she wants something. Then again, mother wakes up, Beta, I told you, na, I love you. Right? Is this the way mother would do? The mother would actually sacrifice her sleep. She will feed the child. She will ensure that the kid is sound asleep. Bhakti मन में नहीं रखते. You have to show it. Right? It's very important when you want to prove yourself or prove love to, even in the material world. If you're talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, which we don't talk about generally. We start serving, we do certain things which that will please them. I'm just giving a material example. But similar way, when you talk about bhakti, it's more of serving. And serving in a way that you are not expecting anything out of it. It is the only sole purpose of this serving attitude is to serve the object of service, that is Krishna, for his pleasure. And we don't expect anything. That is love. Even when it comes to mother, that is what she expects, right? She doesn't expect her kid to do anything else. She just wants to ensure that the kid is happy. She's asleep. That's the reason she sacrifices her sleep. Forgets everything for that moment. She just wants to ensure the child is happy asleep. Bhakti man mein nahi rakhte. Bhakti is love. Love for the Lord. And that is something we have to show constantly. Right? It's very important. When the purpose is to serve the Lord, ritual becomes spiritual. Right? When the purpose is to serve the Lord, ritual becomes spiritual. So let's dig deep behind, science behind our rituals. So, if you see now, like I said, we came into the material world. As of now, we have forgotten our connection with the Lord. So that is one of the reasons. There are certain people who want to revive it, certain people who are completely ignorant about it. When you look at Sarjapur also, how many people are there here? Hardly 30-40 people? Right? So Janmashtami, we had more than 5,000 to 6,000 people who attended Janmashtami. We actually asked them, registered them and invited them for Gita Course. How many of us continued? Right? So a lot depends on the Sukruti also. A lot depends on the prayers also. Right? Prayers from other people, prayers from the people who love you. And the Sukruti that you have gained from your previous Janma. Right? So it's very important. It's not something that is very cheap. Right? So what we have come to do when it comes to ritual, the science behind ritual, we are actually trying to connect ourselves back to the Lord. And ritual is a medium to do that. But any time, if you actually see any kind of ritual that we do at the home, like in our previous, my father used to do certain things when it comes to doing puja or arti. I mean, if I asked him a certain question, he would probably have an answer. He would say, my father did it, now I'm doing it, now you do it. Okay, fine, I start doing it. Now later on, my kid asks, Papa, why are you doing this? I said, my father did it, I did it, now you do it. You think he'll take it? So this is the age where you want reasoning, logical reasoning, scientific reasoning as to why we do certain things when it comes to rituals. And it's very important to bring any kind of conviction. If you have to have any kind of conviction in whatever you do, you need to understand why we are doing certain things. It's very important. Right? So let's look into this. Let's actually look into some of the ways that Lord has actually told how to serve Him. So we'll take one shloka from chapter number 9, verse number 26. Please repeat after me. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tatham bhaktya uparitam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Can someone read, please?
If one offers me with love and devotion or leaves, a plant, a fruit, or water, I will accept it.
Thank you. This is so simple. What is he asking? Patram. What is Patram? What is Pushpam? Phalam? Water? So the Lord is actually not depending on any kind of your opulence, how rich you are, how poor you are. Anyone can offer this. For Forget if you don't have patram, you don't have patram कहाँ से मिलेगा सर? तो पुष्पम तो expensive है, फलम तो और expensive है, तो तोया भी दे दो, right? So he is happy with that. Now if I call my manager to my house and in the plate I offer him one patram, one pushpam, one small phalam and little toya, you know what will happen? Next day when I go to office, my ID card I won't be able to swipe it. Right? So our Lord, He is happy with the smallest of things. Do you think our Lord needs this? So in Brahma Samhita, so Brahma Samhita is a prayer where Lord Brahma is actually offering to Lord Krishna. And there is a verse which says, Chinta Maniya Prakara Sadmukhasu Chinta Maniya Prakara Sakarma Sukalpa Laksha Viteshu Surabhina Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So in that, Lord is saying that, Brahmaji is saying that there are Lakshmis, Shata Lakshmis. There are thousands of Lakshmis who are actually serving the Lord in Vaikuntha planets. And when we are doing that, do you think Lord needs any of the things that we are doing? The offering that He is asking? So you have to understand one thing. When Lord says, serve me this way, offer it to me this way, it is for own benefit. He says this, once you do this only, I will be able to give my blessings to you. So He is more eager to do this. And He has made it so simple. Right? When it comes to ISKCON, we do it in a very grand way. If you see, I spoke about this, that we do 7 types of aarti in a day. We offered 8 different bhogas to the Lord. Right? And everything is different. We have at least breakfast is 4 or 5 different varieties. And lunch will be at least 14 different items are served to the Lord. Right? So based on your capacity, now if you are in the capacity of offering nice things to Lord, please do offer. So this is the least minimum that we could do. So nobody can say that I can't do this, right? So least, that's all He's asking. Even if you have nothing, just offer Him water with tulsi leaf, He's more than happy. Right? So this is one of the reasons, this is actually to help us elevate in bhakti. So when you say offer it to the Lord, it's not that Lord completely finished the food and not giving anything. Right? Lord's way of enjoying the food is very different than us. So when we offer, like I mentioned, it is gratitude. Whatever we have right now, we offer it to the Lord. There are people who actually offer, when they bring new clothes, they actually offer it to the Lord. They bring new shoes also, they offer it to the Lord. So anything, any kind of new gadgets also, it's a kind of gratitude that we have, that we build within ourselves, that anything that we have right now is a blessing of the Lord. And first, let Him use it, let Him bless, and then give it. Ultimately, He's going to give it to us. But that intention, but that mood of gratitude is something that will actually elevate us in bhakti. And that is something that we try to build every now and then. Every small activity that we do, be it whatever, we offer it to the Lord. Right? And a simple thing that we do is prasada. Right? Prasada, when everyone cooks, we cook it for the pleasure of the Lord. Right? Not like how I told you, when I come to your house to serve Karela just because you think Karela is nice. Right? So we cook it for the pleasure of the Lord. And once we offer the bhoga, He gives it as reverence to us. Prasad, it's all sanctified. So there is no karma attached to it. Right? That is one of the reasons God is actually helping us. And those who don't do this, God says He is verily only eating sin, who are not offering and eating. Because even when we say, even people who say that they are vegetarians, we are actually killing something. Right? Life is there. So only way to get out, because this will actually bind us in the cycle of birth and death. So only way we can come out of it is doing akarmic activities. A karmic act. This is one of the karmic activities where we actually offer everything to the Lord and take the reverence. Right? So let's look into deity worship. So we know all deity worship. This is very important. A lot of people say Lord is there everywhere. Why should we go to temple? Do you have an answer for this? A lot of people say no. Lord is there everywhere. Why should I go to the temple? Any answer? See, there are various things in the atmosphere also. I'll give a simple example. Water is there everywhere in the atmosphere. So why do we go to the tap and actually drink it? This is concentrated. Right? Comes and we take, that is the source for us. Similarly, when you go to the temple, it's not a normal murti that you see there. It's called Archa Vigraha. And it's based on certain rules and regulations that Vigraha is made. It is not something that I know, I'm a very good sculptor, I start preparing something based on what I think. So sculpture is made according to what is mentioned in scriptures, how the Lord looks like. Right? Venum Kvananta Aravinda Dalaya Daksham. So there are a lot of things. So our Lord holds the Venu. Right? His body is Shyamasundara. Yes, lotus petal eyes. So you see, there are various mentions as to how the preparation should be done, how the murti should be made. And it's mentioned in the scriptures. And people who make this murti also are not ordinary people. They have a certain sadhana before they actually start doing this. On a daily basis they do this. And once the murti is made, and when we get into the temple, there is a process called Prana Pratishtha. It's a 3 to 5 days process where there is a lot of mantras chanted, a lot of yajnas done to invoke the Lord. So we are actually begging the Lord to actually come into this. Right? So one of the reasons a lot of people ask us, why are you worshipping Murti? Do we have an answer for this? Why do we worship Murti? Why do we worship the deity form? Any idea why do we do that? So if you see Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna requested Krishna to show me the universal form, Virat Rupa, and Krishna showed his Virat Rupa. There are lakhs of heads, hands, legs. You can't count. You will not finish seeing his entire body. How will you do any kind of service? Where will you start from? Where is his lotus feet? There is only lotus feet everywhere. So, and then Arjuna requests, Lord, please come back to your original form. Right? And then the Lord takes his original form again. So, when it comes to Murti Puja or Archa Vigraha, it is a mercy manifestation of the Lord for us. See, with this eyes, because Lord says, I'm going to actually give you, Arjuna also he says, I'm going to give you divine eyes through which you can see me. Through our material eyes, do you think we can see the form of the Lord? He is Sachidananda Vigraha. He has a spiritual form. Do you think we can see it? No, we can't see it. So that's one of the reasons we have Archa Vigraha, where it's a mercy manifestation of the Lord, where He comes in His own form, so that you can do seva. He accepts seva through that. So it is not a normal murti like in movies they show, no? A stone you kept, you put a red cloth around it and people start worshipping. That's not the way. Proper way is that we do Prana Pratishtha, invoke the Lord. There is various levels of mantras and pujas that are done. And once that is done, the Lord is personally present there. And that's one of the reasons we go and serve Him. There are various metals that is used, wood, the certain metals that is used, even photos is mentioned, Patachitra, right? The form of the Lord. This is actually the photo that we have. It is from the SBR Layout Temple. The Lord in that form. The Lord is personally present. When you start offering any kind of service to Lord is very merciful. So when He sees His devotees actually offering so many services, He can't wait. Then just like a parent, right? When you see a father who has lost his kid in a mela, right? The kid is also crying. But it's the parents who actually go through a lot of anxiety. They are dying deep within. They want the kid back. Similarly, our Lord is also crying. More than we cry when we go through certain bad things in our life. And when good things happen, we actually forget Him. Right? So similarly, Lord is actually constantly, He is very anxious to get us back. And that's one of the reasons that He has given so many things for us to do. Right? When it comes to, it is very important when it comes to deity worship, because I spoke about this in the last session also, whereas various acharyas, Shankaracharya, Madhavacharya, Ramanujacharya, Nimbarka Swami, Vishnu Swami, these people are not fools. Right? They were all, if you see, Shankaracharya was an avatar of Lord Shiva. And I am from the same place. My father was born in Kalari. And Shankaracharya has built a temple for Lord Krishna. So these people are not fools to actually worship the Lord in the deity form. There are instances where the Lord has actually reciprocated to them also. Right? So I have another question for you. Now, when we spoke about a lot of Britishers, a lot of Islamic rulers actually coming and destroying everything. So when they were actually destroying the murtis of the Lord, why did the murtis do anything? Do you have an answer? You say, no, Lord is present in that. So when the Mughals actually destroyed our murtis, cut the legs, hands of the deities, why didn't Lord do anything? Do you have any argument to counter this? If Lord is there, why He didn't do anything? They will suffer their karma, that's fine. Anything else?
Karma didn't happen immediately, it will take time.
Karma didn't happen, yes, it will take time, that is true. Anything else? But Lord is present in that form, in the deity form. Why didn't Lord do anything? Also kids of love, that is true. That is true.
It doesn't need to be contained in that. He is Sarvapurusha.
Sarvapurusha, yes, that is true. But again, we are talking about that particular murti, right? Once it's destroyed. Because Lord is there in it. So one of the reasons is, when it comes to Archa Vigraha, it is a Vigraha for us to serve. It is not a Vigraha where Lord actually shows His opulence. He comes in that form only for taking our seva. That is the only thing. So one of the primary things is we have a duty to actually protect it also. That is seva for the Lord. When it comes to Vrindavan, when the Mughals attacked, there were a lot of deities that were actually moved from Vrindavan to Jaipur. Govinda Dev Ji, Madan Mohan Ji. All these deities, the devotees actually took care of the deities and they smuggled the deities to Jaipur. So this is also seva. How will you take care of the Lord? If you love Lord, you have to take care of the Lord. And that is where the Lord is actually wants to see how we are doing seva. There are various places where Lord has actually reciprocated also. But primary understanding is that Archa Vigraha is a place where Lord actually takes, it's a form for actually taking seva from the devotees. Right?
Another story about Sriraman, that when they came to destroy, apparently they made a wall for the Garbha Vigraha. In the Garbha there was a wall they built, and they put another Vigraha in the front and the Uregirmu Vigraha, like the one that goes down, that they dumped it into the well. Apparently when they came to destroy it, they destroyed that other fake Vigraha. Later on, they did another Punastapana of another Vigraha. That is the reason why in Sri Lanka there are 3 Vigrahas. The original one later was found there when they they realize the original Vigraham is still there. Then the second Sthapana Vigraham, and later they found the ones that they take around the temple, right, for Udayagiri. That one was found in the bell. So that's the reason in Srinagar directly there are three.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. See, that is one of the reasons. See, we have to understand that there is a lot of seva that we need to do to ourselves. So that is seva. If someone attacks, we are supposed to protect. That is very important. Right, if you see ISKCON Mayapur, right, which is the headquarters of ISKCON. So, the deities of the Lord, Radha and Krishna, are actually made up from a special element and gives a very special shine. So Radharani shines really nice. So there are burglars and robbers who actually think it's made of gold. It's not made of gold, but it's made of certain materials which make it very shiny. And they wanted to actually take away the Radharani's deity. And there is one, His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj actually. He actually came in the way and they shot a bullet. He actually took a bullet to his leg to save the deity. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't take the deity because a lot of people actually gathered and they protected the deity. But that is the mood. Right? That is how we show seva to the Lord. Right? If someone attacks or anything of that stuff, it is our duty also to save the Lord. Not that we go and attack them. Like Vrindavan also what they did was they actually took the deities and moved away. So that they don't harm the deities. Let them take the money or whatever it is. The deities, then we can still offer a worship to the Lord. They said no, in Somnath they plundered it so many times. So many times. Still, after every few months, they would find similar amount of money in the temple. Because people didn't stop worshipping. People still didn't stop offering the gratitude to the Lord in various ways. Right? And when it comes to Shastras also, Prahlad Maharaj also talks about Navavida Bhakti, Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam. Archanam is very important. That is deity worship. So it is not something that we just made, something that is very concocted. It is based on Shastras and there's a scientific meaning. Why we actually, because we can't see the Lord, perceive the Lord in a spiritual form, because we are materialized. We still don't have spiritual eyes to see the Lord. Right? Kirtan. We have seen Kirtans, right, happening. Why do we do Kirtans? Any idea why do we Kirtan? In ISKCON we find a lot of people. We are constantly doing Kirtans. Right? First reason is, it is Yuga Dharma. Right? Second reason is, it creates auspiciousness in the surrounding and planet as a whole. So when we are actually doing Kirtan, it's just not for our benefit, it's for the people around also. People who don't know about Krishna or Radharani. When they are hearing about the names of the Lord, it's actually purifying them also in some or the other way. They would probably realize it. So that's why they say, do Kirtan very loudly. Even the animals in the house, if you have a pet, okay? Ants, cockroaches, whatever is there, they all get benefited. And why do we clap and dance in front of the Lord? The people think that there are people, mad people from Hare Krishna, clapping and dancing in front of the Lord. Why do we do that? Do you know why we do that? In Skanda Puran, Dwarka Mahatmai, there is a verse where Narada actually says, that Narada is telling, people who actually dance ecstatically in front of the Lord, in front of the deity of the Lord, right? The clap is actually like blowing away the sinful reactions, like how the bird flies away. Like there is a lot of birds, right, eating something, you see a pigeon, right? Go in between and you start clapping, what happens? Everything flies off, right? Narada says, when you actually dance in front of the Lord, ecstatically, in that particular mood, each clap blows away bird-like sinful activities. All the reactions that you have. So it is not something that is very whimsical. that the Lord's devotees actually come and dance in front of the Lord. Right? We release the kirtan, of course. And when you release the kirtan, this is natural. You start clapping, you start dancing. Right? So we need to understand the scientific reasons as to why we are actually doing certain things. Right? That people will think mad people. But we should have the conviction as to why we are doing it. Right? Once we don't have conviction, if we don't have conviction, we cannot actually change anyone else's thought or prove anyone else wrong. Conviction should start within, from us. Let's look into this. Talking about Kirtan. Krishna talks about Kirtan. Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatattascha Dridavata Namatyantasya Mam Bhaktya Nityayukta Upasate. Can someone read this? Yes. So he says, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. There are various verses where talking about Kirtan. Because Kirtan is Yuga Dharma. In Bhagavatam it says, Kritaya Dhyayato Vishnu. In Satyayuga, it was meditation on the form of the Lord. Tretayo Yajato Makher. In Treta Yuga, it was elaborate Yajna. Dwapare Paricharya, that is elaborate deity worship in the temple. That was the Yuga Dharma in Dwapara. And in Kali Yuga, Kalo Tat Hari Kirtana. So, it has been segregated based on yugas. Previously, it was very difficult. Meditating on the Lord. Valmiki meditated on the Lord for 60,000 years. They used to live that long. Can you do it? Forget. 5 minutes we can't meditate. We start sleeping. So based on the yugas and based on the degradation of our body and mind, Lord has actually given us a simple process. Even this we don't do. It's a simple carrying, you know. He's just telling us to chant mind. Kalota Dhari Kirtana. So you don't need to do anything other than this. Hari Kirtana, chanting of the holy name, is more than enough. So following Yuga Dharma is very important. And that's one of the reasons, that's the way actually we'll get into the process of self-realization. Build the mode of loving God. Right? Let's look into, now why we do Namaskar or obeisances. We see a lot of people, when we see a lot of devotees, first they give their obeisances at the door, then they give the obeisances near the Prabhupada altar, then to the Lord. Why do we do that? Why do we need to, what is the mode behind offering obeisances? Submission, okay? Someone said that? Blessings, okay? Submission, blessings. Gratitude. Bowing down, yes, very nice. Right? See, actually, it is actually taking a humble position in front of the Lord. Right? When we actually offer, we come inside and offer, we are actually bowing down to all the devotees that are there and the Paramatma seated within. That's why we say, no, everyone we treat with respect, whoever it is. Because there is Paramatma within every living entity. So we bow down to the Paramatma within. All the devotees are bow down for Guru, bow down to Krishna. So when we take a humble position, that's when actually the mercy flows. That's when Krishna will actually be able to bless. He's telling, so I'll talk about the next shloka where actually Krishna says about this. So obeisances, if you see, the first one, show our Lord, show our respect to the Lord and forgive. The first one, which is called Dandavat or Ashtanga, is for males, right? And all the 8 Ashtanga of body should actually touch legs, chest, head, and mind and words. It's a 8 different thing that should we are submitting in front of the Lord. And the second one is for the Matajis, Panchanga. Right? And they are often supposed to be offering Panchanga. It doesn't mean that when it's too crowded, we don't see anything and just do Dandavat. We should be very cautious about that also, that we are not, there is very little place, we can also do Panchanga. That's fine. But for Matajis, they are not supposed to do Ashtanga because their breasts are not supposed to touch the earth, because earth is also Mata. So she feels a little embarrassed, so that's one of the reasons. Right? So it's Panchanga for Matajis and Ashtanga for Prabhujis. Okay? And it's very understanding. Again, it's humility is one very important aspect when it comes to spiritual life. It's very important. And even if you want to gain any kind of knowledge, humility is something that is we need to develop. Like I mentioned in our previous class, we know that we need certain help. When we have an attitude that I know everything, I don't need any kind of help, you will not get the right knowledge. Right? Krishna says, no, Tadvi Pratpatina, Pratiprashtena Sevaya. Go with the humble attitude and inquire questions with a humble attitude and do Seva. Pratiprashtena Sevaya. And when you do Seva, the right knowledge flows in, it goes within our heart and we understand it better. So that's the exact way that the mercy, the blessings, the knowledge, it's all from top-down approach. And that's the way we should take knowledge. So we understood Namaskar or obeisances. What Krishna says about this? Manmana bhav manbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yukvevam atmana matparayana. Can someone read this?
Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me.
Thank you. So, in this, if you say Mam Namaskuru, offer obeisances to me, Krishna has mentioned this twice. Here it is chapter 9 and 34th verse. In 18th chapter, 65th verse also, the first line is mentioned. Manmana bhava manbhakto madhyasima namaskuru. Twice he has mentioned. So anything that is mentioned more than once, we should take it a little seriously. See, whenever we are in a good health, and if we are able to offer our obeisances, we should do it. Because at a later point of time, it will be very difficult for us to get up and sit down also. Right? And this is the way of showing our respects and taking a humble position in front of the Lord. Right? So it's Mam Namaskuru. Now, actually we spoke about this. Why do we do parikrama or circumambulation of in the temple? Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Any idea? We do a lot of these things, no? We should know why we are doing it. Why do we do that? Why do we do parikrama? Earlier I used to follow my mother and father. I didn't know. They used to tell, come, we will do this. I never asked the question also. It never really bothered me that time. There's a reason why we do that. Following the path which they have shown. And considering Lord as the center for any activity that we do. See, otherwise, any activity that we do, we keep ourselves as the center. Sense gratification. Mujhe kya milega? What is the kind of enjoyment I'll get? So when we do parikrama, in the mind, the mood is that Lord is the center or everything. I have come here to take his darshan. There are various people, when I talk about namaskuru, no? It's very wonderful. There are people who just do namaskuru like this also. This is fine. Still you are doing a pranam. There are various people who do this. You see, when you go in the bus or anything, they see temples, right? No, this is not the way. Right? This is not namaskar or this is not pranam. Right? Is that the way you offer your respects to the Lord? I don't know how this will actually end up going forward. At least people doing pranam is very nice. Because there is a mention of pranam in Shastras. But this one, slowly this will become right? So it's very important that we follow Shastras. Right? And when it comes to parikrama, or circumambulation, it is actually keeping the Lord in the center. Right? That is the mode. Otherwise, see, when you don't build this mode, we have to start building this mode. It's not something that will come up. If you start doing it today, that tomorrow onwards, again you will start forgetting why we are doing certain things. So when we do it on a regular basis, consciously, that's when that mood will develop. Otherwise, it will become mechanical. Our chanting also becomes mechanical at a later point. Today I tell you to chant one round and concentrate on Lord's name. So you concentrate on Lord's name. Tomorrow you think Prabhuji has told me to finish the round, so just finish fast. It becomes mechanical. That's not the way. We have to consciously put in effort and hear the Lord's name. That is called mantra. Mantra meditation. One which delivers the mind. That is my meaning of mantra. Tilak on forehead. Why do we do this? Why do we keep tilak on forehead? Any idea? Any Yamadutas? Correct. One reason is that Yamadutas don't. They say in Shastras, devotees who have tilak, Yamadutas don't come here. Tilak and Kantimala, Yamadutas don't come. Vishnudutas only come. Otherwise, why we keep? There are various reasons why we keep tilak. Any reason? Krishna's?
Krishna legs.
Correct. That is one. So if you see the tilak, right? The upper part, the U, is actually Krishna's lotus feet. And that is Tulsi leaf. The Tulsi leaf offered to the lotus feet of Krishna. And one more thing is that, just like a married wife, she applies sindoor, right? Sindoor. And it just signifies that she is married and she belongs to her husband. Just like that, devotees apply tilak, stating that we belong to Krishna. Vaishnavas apply tilak, so that denotes that we belong to Krishna. So there is a nice analogy here. They say, no, if you have a pet dog, it has a belt, right? The municipality people will not take it. Have you seen that? There is small state of they will take. But a pet dog with a belt or leash around, the municipality will not touch it. Because it knows it has an owner. Similarly, when we have a Kantimala and a Tilak, Yamadutas don't come. It is only Vishnudutas who come and take us to Vaikuntha. Right? Nice analogy. Okay, so let's look into this. Externals affect internals. So why do we wear dhoti, sari and tilaka? Why do we wear them? It's a Vaishnava dress. In the Vedic times, people used to wear this. And they say in Vaikuntha also this is the dress. Right? When we actually wear dhoti, sari and tilaka, if you notice, we won't do any bad activities also. That's why they say externals affect internals. We'll be very cautious when we are wearing dhoti, kurta. We will not do any kind of nonsense activities. Right? So that is one of the reasons that people say whenever you are coming for a gathering, whether it's a spiritual gathering or going to a temple, please wear a nice ethnic dress or Vaishnava dress. It's very important to come into that mood. It will actually affect the mood also of the person who is actually visiting the temple. And that's one of the reasons we wear this. Addressing as Prabhuji and Mataji. You have seen that in ISKCON we actually address everyone as Prabhuji and Mataji. Right? Prabhuji is, we call everyone Prabhuji. Again, it's to take for giving them respect and taking a humble position. Mataji, we call Mataji everyone. Because except for our wife, everyone else, we should be taking them as Mataji. That is as per Shastra. I forgot the shloka, but I can get you the shloka. Why? When a small kid, 4-5-year-old girl, we actually call them Mataji only. That's it. Now people say Bhenji. अभी किसी को बुलाया तो माता जी क्या बोला? Right? So Bhenji concept actually came right now. It's not Bhenji. It is Mataji. It's always Mataji. That's the respect that we give to all the women. When you call Mataji, you don't have any kind of. We're trying to build that mood where we don't have any kind of ill feelings or bad feelings toward that opposite sex. It's very important, and that happens as you start doing this on a regular basis. Okay? So it's very important. Why do we greet Hare Krishna? Hi, hello, chodo, Hare Krishna, bolo. Why do we say? Why do we say Hare Krishna? Greet everyone. Okay? So it is just to remind that we are all part and parcel of Krishna. Mamaivaamsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Krishna says, every living entity is part and parcel of me. And when we meet, we remind each other, Hare Krishna, that we are one Father, Supreme Father, and we are all His kids. It's nice to have, no? Vasudeva Kutumbakam, they say, no? This is what it is. So that is the community that we are bringing up. This is the congregation that we are talking about. That everyone has same kind of feelings, same goal, that is to raise the Lord. Right? So and that's one of the reasons that we remind each other, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That we remind, oh, he's also devotee of my Lord. I'm also saying his devotee. Right? And there is camaraderie, there is friendship. And we do different sevas together. Right? It's very important. Let's look at meaning of Aarti. This is very important. We do a lot of Aarti, right? A lot of times people ask, why do we do so many things? Can someone tell me what's the time? 12:30. I'll run a little faster. So let's look into meaning of Aarti. We spoke about this shloka. I think you should all be, this shloka should be by heart by now. Right? We discussed this shloka. Koberapo nalovayu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara idiyamne bhinna prakriti ashtada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego. All together these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Bhinna prakriti ashtada. So when you do Aarti, we are offering each and everything towards Lord. So blowing of the conch plus the kirtan that we do is offering sound through ether. Sound travels through ether. And the diya is the offering of the fire. See, Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, Lord has given us all of these things. Our body is also made of all of this. So when I say we have to show gratitude, this is the way we show gratitude. That's the reason we do Aarti. There are various things involved. The diya is offering of fire. Water in the conch is offering of water. Flowers and incense is offering of earth, Bhumi. Then fan, we do right? We do chamar. Fan is offering of air. Obeisance is offering of our ego. And then meditation is mind. Right? And again, procedure. The various procedures that we follow, we use our intelligence also. Why we are doing it. That is offering of our intelligence also. Right? We need to understand why we do certain things. In why we are doing Aarti. Now when someone asks you why you do this, you should be able to answer this, right? You should be able to answer this. Why we are offering the Rumal, why we are offering the flowers to the Lord. Right? It's a way of showing gratitude because He has given us so many things. The entire material world is built on Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, Kammano, Buddhi, Evacha, Ahankara, Idiyamne. So all these 8 material energies. And our way of gratitude is actually doing Aarti and showing, offering it back. Right? And there are various things when it comes to even the bell ringing, right? It actually stabilizes our mind also. When we actually ring the bell and get into the temple. There are various scientific reasons behind it. Because of time, I cannot run through them. Right? Because it's built, even the bells are actually in the temples are made of 3 different metals. In different proportions they are made. And when you actually ring that, it stabilizes our mind. Helps us bring concentration. Right? Then this is using all Panchabhutas in serving the Lord. Not just Panchabhutas, we are also using our mind, intelligence and ego as well. Right? Everything that is given to us. So we have this Guru Parampara, you would have seen, right? After the Lord is kept, there is Narasimhamurti, there is Panchatattva and the entire Guru Parampara. It's not the entire Guru Parampara. It is the immediate Gurus of Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Gauradas Babaji Thakur. So all of these are kept here. It is just to show them respect, because you can't reach Lord with our own efforts. A guru is required. Even when you are looking at our material studies, right? When you are learning science, physics, maths, or anything, you take a guru. Spirituality is the same. You need someone who has experienced this, who has who has seen the truth already. And he will be the only person who will actually be able to direct you. If you feel that you can do it on your own, it's very difficult. You may lose your path. Right? You may deviate. And that's why, if you see Bhagavad Gita, introduction last chapter, introduction last page, you have the entire list of the Guru Parampara, right? Starting from Krishna, Brahma, Narad Muni, and the entire Acharyas, coming down till Srila Prabhupada. So that's why it says Guru Parampara, Sampradaya. Right? Discipling succession that we talk about. Because the mercy comes from the Lord. Right? The knowledge comes from Lord. And we need to know that we are following the right Sampradaya. So ISKCON comes under Brahma Madhava Sampradaya. There are 4 Sampradayas, right? After that, ISKCON comes under Brahma Madhava Sampradaya, which is a very bona fide Sampradaya. Okay? Let's look into see, this Krishna also says why it's very important to actually follow the Sampradaya or a Parampara. Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajasyo Vidu Sakalena Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of discipling succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears appears to be lost. So in chapter 4 and verse 1, that Krishna actually tells that I have given this knowledge, Bhagavad Gita, to Sun God during the creation. Right? And Sun God gave it to Manu, and Manu gave it to Ikshavakuta. And the whole Parampara system was followed. At a later time, this was broken. And that's when actually Lord sends again to speak the Bhagavad Gita. It's not just that the 5,500 years ago Lord spoke the Bhagavad Gita. This is eternal. This knowledge is eternal. So it's always there. Right? A lot of people think it's just 5,500 years back. But if you read the scriptures, Krishna only tells us. 4th chapter, verse number 1. Right? Central object of bhakti. So this is, look into this. Self-centered versus God-centered. So this is what the mood should be whenever we are doing any kind of offering towards the Lord. Right? Fully. See, initially I spoke about the various Ganesha things that people are doing and completely concocting and deviating from what is mentioned in the scriptures. They are doing things for their own self-gratification. But when you are doing any kind of offering for the Lord, the mood should be that we are serving the Lord. It is for His pleasure. We should move away from being self-centered to be God-centered. That is what is important. And that will bring all auspiciousness in your life. You don't have to do anything special. This is more than enough. Right? When we start thinking the Lord is supplying everything, He also must be lacking something. He also may want something. What does God want? Krishna consciousness. So when Lord is supplying so many things, when Lord is a person, He also has certain likings. And whatever He likes, He has mentioned in the scriptures. And we do seva according to that. Right? So that is very important. We don't do something that we just feel this will actually please Krishna. We do whatever is told in Shastras. And that's the right mood. That's the way we can actually elevate in Bhakti also. Something because of my speculation, I think this is what I need to do. That won't help us. Right? So there is something, a scripture called Narada Pancharaka. In that, elaborate deity worship is there. So maybe someday we'll actually do a deity worship seminar. Maybe I'll have one of the seniors actually connect that for you, so you can understand the deep aspects as to why we do and how we do. It's very important. So we'll have that. Okay? When I talk about self-centered and non-centered love, there are a lot of people. There's a nice analogy here also. It's like me being a driver and I'm taking my boss to work, right? And I'm doing. So here we are doing everything for the pleasure of the Lord, right? Similarly, I'm just giving a material example where I'm turning on the AC for my boss. What ultimately is happening? I'm also getting the AC, right? Similarly, when we actually offer anything to the Lord, ultimately the benefits are actually only coming to us. It's not that Lord is benefiting. All that is mentioned in the Shastras is for our own benefit. We have to understand that first. It is not that the Lord is very egocentric and He wants you to bow down every time you see. No, it is the only way that if you only bow down, He can actually bless you. He's telling, Beta, bow down, then only I can give my blessings to you. If you want to come out of this Bhava Sagara, you need this. Constantly have our ego and we feel that we don't need to do all of this, we'll be stuck in this material world. Okay? Transformation. Now this is what all that we follow, all the rituals that we said or spoke about. We spoke about some of the rituals only, some main ones. This will actually bring about a lot of transformation within our heart. Right? I've spoken to a few of you all and I have listened that a lot of you have been very regular in attending the Gita class, and there is a lot of transformation that you see within yourself. I'm very happy to hear that. And it's natural. When you actually hear about the Lord, talk about the Lord, transformation will happen. Again, it's based on your dedication and determination. Don't just completely depend on the speaker. There is some kind of effort that we also need to do. Right? Speaker is just a medium of the Lord actually speaking through it. Okay? We should take that knowledge and we should practice it. Okay? So again, the 3 P's that I talked about: philosophy, people, practice. Strong enough philosophy, I hope. See, one more thing is that I hope everyone has the Bhagavad Gita by now. Please buy. And it's Gita Jayanti. If you want to actually gift it to someone in your family, friends, relatives, this is the right time. Because Gita Jayanti is considered to be very auspicious. This is the time when the Lord actually spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And this is the only time actually when it comes to ISKCON, right? You will see the devotees actually outside. We are doing book distribution every day. How much of time we are able to spend? 1 hour we are able to spend. We are actually going out. So if you want to actually, if you have a thought of gifting it to someone, please do it. You can actually buy the Bhagavad Gita and gift it. This is the right time to do that also. And this is the right time and place to actually buy it also. Right? So now we'll start with mantra meditation. I would also suggest that this is the last time I would actually ask Prabhuji to give the beads. I would actually request you all to buy beads. Personal beads is very important. Right? Sadhana, please, this should be practiced every day in the house. Right? For that, beads and the japama bag is very important. So please ensure that you get that. And don't be shy to actually flaunt your japamala or the japa bag. There is nothing wrong. There are various people who will say, what they say, sannyasini ban gayi ya sannyasa ban gaya. Forget it, the people will talk. We can't please everyone. Right? Our only motive should be to please the Lord. That is what is important. So many lifetimes we have given away just by pleasing people. Ultimately, nobody is pleased. They find some of the other flaws in us. And there is only one person. Why is God, when God says, Suhurdam Sarva Bhutana, and the ever-loving, well-wishing friend, why does Krishna say that? See, in this life, we have a husband, we have a wife, we have a father, we have a mother. But after this life, what happens? Everyone leaves, right? There is only one person who is with us always. Krishna as Paramatma. Sarvasya Chaham Hit Sanjivishto. He is there in the heart as Paramatma. Even when we take the worst form, be it a worm in the stool, it is only Krishna who accompanies us. No one else. So that's why he says, Suhurdam Sarva Bhutana. I am your ever well-wishing friend. Nobody else. So when we have such a loving Father, don't you think that we should spend some time for him? Serve him. It's very important. Okay? So let's all chant the next 10 minutes. Everybody has their please close your eyes. The next 10 minutes, we are only going to concentrate on the names of the Lord. Let's park all the other thoughts that we have, which pertains to our family, kids, office work, for the next 10 minutes. This 10 minutes is your intimate conversation with the Lord. You don't need to think about the Lord's form. All you need to do is, when you are chanting the holy name, make sure you are hearing the holy names. So let's start. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare